Now for our next session, we have Ms. Esha Zaib with us. She's currently working as the Senior Community Manager at the National Incubation Center. Having worked with over 300 startups in her career, her core expertise includes strategy, project management, and large-scale public sector transformation. In her last position as the program director for Plan X and the MIT Enterprise Forum, Esha managed to implement and execute training for aspiring women entrepreneurs. Those women were engaged for a comprehensive skill development program in collaboration with Facebook program of She Means Business. Esha has also recently co-founded O Ventures, an accelerator that helps sustainability-focused startups. Please, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum. I hope everyone can hear me. Okay, good. Ab behtar hai? Thank you. Okay. My name is Esha, and I'm very, very grateful to be here at the Allama Iqbal Open University. This is actually my first time over here, and I was blown away by just the sheer size of the campus. I got lost for a good 5 minutes. So I had a look around, and I was very, very impressed with the campus also, and with the work that's happening here. My introduction was already made, so without further ado, I can start with the presentation. I am currently working for the National Incubation Center. आपके बिल्कुल नेबरहुड में ही हैं हम लोग, और ये प्रोजेक्ट जो है ये गवर्नमेंट का फंडेड प्रोजेक्ट है, और तकरीबन 6 साल से हम लोग ये इस्लामाबाद वाला जो चैप्टर है इस पे काम कर रहे हैं. We have 7 incubation centers, and just a quick question: how many of you have heard of NIC or have visited NIC? If I can have a show of hands. Have you visited NIC? Very good. Acha, not that many. So after this presentation, I would hopefully, have some of you come and visit us at our facility, because one, we're very, very close to you guys, right? Two, once you visit the facility, जो मैं आज आपके साथ बातें करूँगी ये आपको थोड़ी ज़्यादा बेहतर समझ आनी शुरू हो जाएंगी. There's whenever we have a visit at the NIC, लोग अक्सर कहते हैं कि ना हमारा भी दिल करता है कि कुछ हम अपना काम करें, हम entrepreneurship में आए, हम अपना startup करें, just because they like the look of the facility that much, right? I'll show you through the project, and through the presentation you'll see some of the pictures of our facility. So NIC basically बना था एक public private partnership के model पे. The government wanted to do something, पर जिस तरह आसिम ने अभी आपको बताया कि अक्सर जब investor आता है या कोई इस तरह का program आता है वो आपसे equity लेते हैं. And because it was the government, they decided they were not going to charge any equity, because what they wanted to achieve from this was to address certain macroeconomic goals, right? Employment generate होना शुरू हो जाए, revenue earn हो जिसके ऊपर वो tax कर सकें. A lot of हम लोग देख रहे थे, एक study हुई थी जिसमें university के students काफ़ी ज़्यादा graduate हो रहे थे, पर इतनी jobs नहीं थी market में. So वो सारी चीज़ों को address करने के लिए the government said, okay, let's start doing something similar, right? But हमारी हुकूमत, आपको पता है, we're still a developing country. They could not sustain such a massive project on their own. तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि private companies को कहा कि आके bid करें इसके लिए. And जो NIC Pakistan है, Islamabad वाला, Jazz won the bid for it. This was the largest telco. It was also the first one, right? जिसकी वजह से बाकी कंपनीज को थोड़ा बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस आना शुरू हुआ, और उन्होंने कहा कि अच्छा जो नेक्स्ट चैप्टर्स आएंगे वीड लाइक टू बिड फॉर इट. आसिम, हु इज़ अनफॉर्चुनेटली लेफ्ट राइट नाउ, आसिम वाज विद द टीम, LMKT की टीम थी जिन्होंने कराची की बिड फिर जीती हमारे बाद, एंड देन पेशावर ऑल्सो, एंड नाउ वेरी रिसेंटली देव ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड हैदराबाद. सो 3 वेंट टू अनदर कॉर्पोरेट. लाहौर जो था वो लम्स यूनिवर्सिटी के पास चला गया, एंड एक वेंचर कैपिटल फर्म है फातिमा गोबी वेंचर, उन्होंने लाहौर के लिए बिड कर दिया. सो what started off as an experiment has turned into a very, very successful model now, and I'll show you this with some figures here. Okay, so these figures I know are from last year, because we were still waiting for updated figures for this year. But as you can see, if I just pick up one, 64% of the nation of Pakistan right now is younger than 30 years of age, right? And we're very, very lucky, बिकॉज स्टार्टअप करने के लिए जैसे नासिम ने कहा कि कोई उम्र नहीं होती, बट ज़्यादातर हम देख रहे हैं कि ये एज ब्रैकेट है वेयर पीपल आर करेजियस, देर ब्रेव इनफ. एज यू गो ओल्डर आप इतने रिस्क नहीं ले सकते बिकॉज लाइफ हैपन्स, राइट? सो but this age is the prime age. You graduate from university and you have that time to experiment. We have that youth, right? So this was the perfect time to encourage and let people know about the startup culture and adapt this culture in Pakistan, right? On the other side, infrastructure development ho rahi thi, 3G, 4G, and now some, telcos have also started testing 5G over here. So the connectivity, mobile phone users, wo zyada hote ja rahe the. So that also really, really helped expedite the process of, creating awareness amongst people about startups, right? These are some of the successful Pakistani entrepreneurs. I know I was listening to Asim and a lot of examples were of Mark Zuckerberg and, the guy who started Orkut, Elon Musk. But does anyone recognize any one of these people over here on the screen? कोई एक जो जाना पहचाना थोड़ा बहुत लगता हो? Okay. So Zameen.com का किसी ने नाम सुना है? Zameen rental properties वाला कर रहे हैं. So bottom last row, first name Zishan. Zishan is the guy who started Zameen.com. Zameen has successfully raised multiple rounds of funding for its startup. Rosie.pk, I'm sure your university students, so CV to Rosie pe dali hogi. Monas started Rosie, right? And all these guys had very successful careers. They took breaks from their careers to start these companies, these small startups that we now look up to, right? Isi tarah Kareem changed the whole landscape of ride-hailing in Pakistan. Uske baad Uber aaya. Uske baad InDriver shuru hua, right? Mudassir Sheikha is from Karachi. Albeit he started this project in the UAE, but he is from Karachi, right? So there are many such examples. And hum NIC mein, yes, I know that they're the Mark Zuckerbergs and Elon Musks of this world are, more known and more famous. But we try to tell our startups more about these guys because इनकी सिचुएशन और जो अब हमारे पास स्टार्टअप्स आ रहे हैं उनकी बहुत सिमिलैरिटीज़ हैं. वही सोशो पोलिटिकल इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन उनको भी फेस हो रही है जो इनको हो रही थी. एंड इफ दीज गाइज कुड मेक देमसेल्व्स सक्सेसफुल, इफ दे कैन हैव सक्सेसफुल स्टार्टअप्स, देयर इज़ नथिंग स्टॉपिंग अस, राइट? प्रॉब्लम्स तो हर वक्त होती रहेंगी, उनके उससे नेविगेट करके कुछ हल निकालना इज़ व्हाट वी ट्राई टू टीच देम, राइट? So I was asked to talk a little bit about our incubation process and how we take startups, right? So हमारा system बहुत simple होता है. हम applications लेते हैं online. Rolling basis पे applications नहीं होती हैं, cohort wise चलते हैं हम लोग. Our next round of applications will open probably in the next quarter of this year. We have successfully graduated 11 cohorts. The 12th cohort is still with us, right? So एक online application होती है जिसे हम basic information सिर्फ आपसे जानना चाहते हैं. What is your idea? What kind of team structure do you have? Marketing की है या नहीं की है? आसिम ने बात की traction के बारे में. So कहीं पे आपने बेचा है, कोई revenue, कोई customers हैं, let us know about them. Where are you based out of, right? A little bit about the team. And then we ask you to submit a basic slide deck, right? Based on that, हम filtering करते हैं. Internally, team करती है filtering, right? And then we call the shortlisted applicants for interviews. First round of interviews हमारी team खुद करती है. And after that, we get external judges जो कि mentors होते हैं, domain specific experts होते हैं, जो कि आके आपकी interviews करते हैं. कोविड से पहले हम लोग ये काम सारा physical करते थे at our facility. But COVID, which proved to be a blessing for us, we adopted a hybrid model, which meant that हम लोग अब इस्लामाबाद के अलावा भी startups ले सकते थे. So we started getting a lot of startups from Karachi, for instance. We got startups from really obscure places, small village in Skardu. We got एक अभी हमारे पास startup incubated है. So इन लोगों को opportunity मिली कि वो हमारे program में आ जाएं, right? And then our program typically lasts for a year. And I'll tell you some of the offerings that we have. But हमने 6 months का भी try किया है, हमने 1 year का भी try किया है, and I feel like idea stage startups के लिए 1 year of support has proved to be beneficial. Growth stage वालों के लिए maybe 6 months can also be okay as well. So some of the offerings that we have, regardless of which stage your startup is at, are this, that if we go from bottom up, एक तो हमारी co-working space है, which is for about, we can seat about 200 people. Then we also give you dedicated mentorship and coaching. जिस स्टेज पे आप होंगे, आपका स्टार्टअप होगा, उस स्टेज पे उस स्पेसिफिक नीड की कोचिंग आपको हम देंगे, विच मीन्स दैट अगर एक स्टार्टअप आता है और उसका बाकी सब कुछ सॉर्टेड दैट आउट, बट उनको सिर्फ मार्केटिंग में हेल्प चाहिए, वी विल कनेक्ट देम टू सम ऑफ द बेस्ट नोन एक्सपर्ट्स, नॉट जस्ट नेशनली, लोकली, बट ऑल्सो इंटरनेशनली. आवर नेटवर्क, as they say, your network is your net worth. We have over 300 dedicated mentors and domain specialists from all walks of field. So I remember एक दफ़ा हमारे पास एक request आई startup से कि मुझे एक mentor चाहिए जो कि hardware supply chain का expert हो. और जो वो स्टार्टअप पे काम कर रहा था, we could not find anyone in Pakistan who could address that need, right? And through our partners at Open, we were able to find him someone who worked for BMW in the US. And he was able to, help him out over here. And that startup is, mashallah, doing very well right now, right? So we will offer any startup that is incubated in our program, they will get all of these facilities. Something that we're very proud of is a customized curriculum. हमने अपना curriculum develop किया है, and because this is a university, I think you guys will appreciate this a bit more. This curriculum covers a range of topics. However, अगर एक startup, अब मेरे पास जो startups आते हैं वो idea stage से लेके growth stage तक होते हैं. Asim is incubated with us currently. Easy Fresh is one of our startups. But as you can see, their level, the stage that they're at, they're making revenue, they've earned investment. So when they came to us, we put them in a program that was called the Fast Track Investment Program, in which we were just dealing with how to get them to negotiate better with investors, how to reach out to investors, how to interpret term sheets, that level of work. But on the other side, एक मेरे पास startup आता है जो बिल्कुल raw है, कुछ भी नहीं किया, it's just an idea. Now they have done well, but I will take their example. ये गिलगित से आए थे और ये लोग कर रहे थे काउंटरफिट नोट्स जो थे उनको डिटेक्ट कर रहे थे थ्रू एन एप्लीकेशन. सो व्हेन दे केम टू अस, दे केम विद जस्ट एन आइडिया. इट्स कॉल्ड 5000. एंड the process they went through is जो आसिम ने आपको शुरू में explain किया, value proposition canvas बनाओ, business model canvas बनाओ, pitch deck बनाओ, pitch को करना किस तरह है, those kind of trainings, customer traction किस तरह होगी, so like just those basic level of courses. They went through that program. Today, they have not only launched, but they were recently picked up by Google to feature in their annual report as well, talking about startups to watch out for. So 5000 has been a phenomenal success for us that way. So the curriculum is customized in sense that जिस stage पे startup है उसको उस stage के courses offer किए जाते हैं so that they can fully benefit from the program, right? We also provide industry linkages through our network. We're working with almost all the big corporates in Pakistan. We're working with lots of academic universities, also schools as well. So any linkage that you need in terms of mentorship, in terms of business, and sometimes in terms of investment, it is our job to connect startups to these people, right? And of course, we also provide you with access to investors and grant opportunities. So just on a quick glance about NIC and what we've done. So out of 11 cohorts, जिसमें से 264 startups थे, 197 have graduated. Our acceptance rate is just 2%. Which is less than what we joke within the organization. It's less than what Harvard has. Harvard is still at 4%, we're at 2%, right? Typically, every time we open applications for our cohort, we get around somewhere between 1,200 to 1,500 applications for each cohort. और उसमें से हम लोग सिर्फ choose करते हैं. This year, it was a big cohort. We took 30 startups, but typically they're just 22, 23 startups that we will take, right? So it's fun because you get to interact with people from all sorts of, industries and verticals, but it's also a little bit difficult as well managing it. Our impact so far is that, the combined investment that our startups have raised through our support and our help is north of 4.6 billion rupees. And the revenue that they have earned is 3.68 PKR. हमारा जो प्रोजेक्ट था NIC का, जब ये मिला था NIC पाकिस्तान को, so just one startup was able to raise more than the whole cost of the project last year, right? So that in itself is a big success for our government as well, because what they invested, they got much, much, much more out of it. This is just, I'm giving you example of one startup. शायद आपको पता हो, MyTM, it's a ticketing platform है वो भी, and they raised this round of a couple of $1 million, which is much more than what the government had initially invested in us, right? The jobs that we've created is over 17,000. Now jobs जो है ये एक और चीज़ है आप लोगों के लिए, our startups and any other startup, they're typically strapped for cash. तो वो क्या करते हैं, through us we get them to connect to university students, easier option, right? University students will ask for a lesser pay because they're still studying, so they treat it as an internship. हमारे startup का काम हो जाता है, and it also inspires a lot of these students to then start their own startups, right? We have had so many of these startups started because ये लोगों ने internship की थी with our existing startups, and they were bitten by the entrepreneurial bug and they wanted to do their own thing. So next cohort में वो अपने idea के साथ, अपने friends के साथ आ गए, and we welcome them. हम लोग internships accept करते हैं all year round. If anyone's interested, they're both paid and unpaid. We have opportunities with our startups, we have opportunities with our team, and we really, I wish, when I was in university, which was long time ago, something like this should have been there for us, right? My first job when we started Plan 9 and Plan X, maybe you've heard of it, nobody really even knew what a startup was. एंड इंटर्नशिप का मतलब था सिर्फ बैंक में जाके इंटर्नशिप कर लो, या अगर किसी ने सिफारिश कर दी किसी कंपनी में कर लो, बिकॉज यूनिवर्सिटी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ऐसा इंटर्नशिप्स ऑफर नहीं हो रही थी. सो आई एम वेरी वेरी प्लीज टू से दैट वी विल टेक इंटर्न्स फ्रॉम ऑल फील्ड्स. आप इंजीनियरिंग से हैं, आप इकोनॉमिक्स से हैं, आप फाइनेंस से हैं, एनी फील्ड, we will have room for you. So you can just apply through our website and we will connect you to the right team, the right startup, whenever there is a vacancy. 24% of our founders are women, which is some of the highest rate for even, globally in comparison. Agar aap dekhein, no incubation program has such a high rate of women founders, and we're very, very pleased. हम लोग हर उसमें ज़रूर, especially for ख़वातीन, हर कोहोर्ट में स्पेशल सीट्स हैं फॉर वुमेन, especially women from marginalized communities, but even otherwise female founders have a special quota, and we really, really encourage female founders to come and join the program. This is just a quick glance of all the verticals, all the industries that our startups have been operating in. So what this gives you is an impression that आप सिर्फ एक अच्छे आइडिया या एक अच्छे स्टार्टअप या एक अच्छे प्रोडक्ट या एक अच्छे सर्विस के साथ हमारे पास आ जाए, एंड द रेस्ट लीव इट टू अस टू मेक यू सक्सेसफुल इंशाल्लाह. There's something that very interesting that we do. Hackathons हम करवाते हैं, which are more like innovation challenges. The next one we will announce in March. इसका एक basic idea ये था कि जब हमारा COVID आया, and we realized that, the world was shutting down, basically, right? And it was a big problem. So we said, okay, a problem faced by many, let's crowdsource the idea. And that's how we started the concept of hackathons, right? The winner was actually someone based out of a Pakistani guy with a German co-founder. He was based out of Sweden. And what he developed was that if you cough in the phone, in their application, it will be able to detect what kind of cough it is. and also detect COVID, right? हमारे partners इसमें थे Ministry of Health, उन्होंने इनको they've taken them under their wings. They needed to do a lot of clinical trials, etc. So they've found the right partners for it, and they're doing it. It's still very much operational. This is just one such example. We've run hackathons in agriculture. We've done one for hepatitis. We've done for climate change. We've done 2 for fintech. We've done one for education. And, it's the best way to get students to come in and apply, because इसके लिए कोई basic requirement नहीं होती कि आपको इस stage पे होना चाहिए, आपको इस level पे होना चाहिए. There is a problem. If you have a solution for it, come and apply. And it's a pitching competition primarily with, of course, cash prizes, but with the opportunity to have your idea picked up by an organization that's relevant to you, who can pay you for it, who can buy that idea, who can invest in your idea, right? So please keep a watch out for this. Our next one will be announced in March. We've also established Pakistan's first plastic road. एक हमने test patch किया था F9 में. अब एक जो है Ataturk Avenue पे जो है, it's a kilometer-long road that we did. Again, the basic idea of it came from one of our startups. We combined it with Coke, and they came and they said, okay, we want to fund it, right? So these are some of our success stories. Has anyone of you heard of any of these startups? एक तो आसिम आ गए थे, so I feel like आसिम का Easy Fresh, so of course you guys are familiar with it now. Has anyone seen or used Easy Bike? Red bikes हैं, electric bikes हैं. I think वो universities में भी करवाना चाह रहे हैं. बिल्कुल. So Easy Bike जो था, that was also one of our startups. It was our alumni startup. Oxbridge Ventures है, ये STEM education पे बहुत ज़्यादा काम कर रही हैं. इनको embassy से grants भी मिले हैं. Deaf Talk है, ये sign language पे काम कर रहे हैं. ये DG खाता है, ये fintech में है. These startups have all raised investment. They all mostly came with just ideas, by the way. The ones that I'm showing you right now, after a lot of hard work, I can say that they are now successful startups, but a lot of blood, sweat and tears went behind their startup journey and for them to reach the stage that they have reached, right? Some of the benefits that we provide our startups with, I know that, जिस तरह आसिम ने बात की कि हम credits देते हैं या in kind देते हैं, any startup that's incubated at the NIC will have access to all of these benefits, and then some, right? I haven't listed all of them, but we're working with Microsoft, we're working with IBM, we're working with Amazon. Cloud credits से लेकर ad credits तक सब कुछ हम दे रहे हैं. Talking about some of the upcoming opportunities, this is a program called Career Launchpad that we started at NIC. और basic idea ये था कि we wanted to bridge the gap between the industry and the academia. Industry हमें कह रही थी कि हमें अच्छे resources नहीं मिल रहे हैं. Resources तो हैं, but just sifting through those applications, we're not able to get good quality resources. Academia से बात करते थे, वो कहते थे कि जी हमारे students graduate करते हैं पर उनको jobs नहीं मिल रही हैं. This is, I know, contrary to what we're preaching कि you should have an entrepreneurial mindset, you should be doing your startups, but this is a problem that we're facing, right? More graduates, less job opportunities. On the other side, we have job opportunities, we're not getting quality. So what we've started is called the Career Launchpad, in which any student can apply, and if you're selected, we will train you from the basic soft skills, hard skills, we will train you for that. And alhamdulillah, our success rate is 100%. We sometimes sit down as a team and we think, yaar, ye kisan, how have we achieved this, right? Our people have gone to work for Facebook. They've gone to work for Systems Limited. They've gone to work for, Google developer groups ke saath join ho gaye hain. Anywhere that they apply, they have been able to get a job, right? The applications for this, you can check, inki website pe is waqt open hai. You can be an existing student, you can be a graduate, it doesn't matter, as long as you're just starting out your career. We will train you to find the right fit for you and to help you secure that job. The last deadline, I'm forgetting when it is, but I think it is the 31st of January for us as well. But you can see this over here on our website, right? Okay, so Other than that, a few quick opportunities that while I was coming on the way, I thought you could benefit from, especially for women entrepreneurs. We're hosting the founders from Rain Catalyst, which is a venture capital firm. But this woman has a great opportunity so she's here with the support of the US Embassy. And what she wants to do is get female entrepreneurs. So I'm sorry, I will come back to you guys also on this side for opportunities for some of the male founders or potential aspiring founders. But for females के लिए हम लोग NIC में ये host कर रहे हैं session in which she talks about startups, and she's just looking for aspiring entrepreneurs and ideas that she can potentially fund. Of course, ये उन्होंने सिर्फ पाकिस्तान के लिए शुरू किया है कि यहाँ पे आइडिया स्टेज पे भी वो इन्वेस्टमेंट करने को रेडी हैं, सो बट फीमेल फाउंडर्स हों, एंड ऑल्सो एन अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर एन एक्सचेंज प्रोग्राम इन द US, right? In which the idea is that for you guys to go and experience and gain that awareness and understand how the markets in the US work, how people are functioning over there, what kind of ideas they're working on, and maybe come back and replicate some of those over here in our country, right? So I will really encourage you guys to please register for that event. NIC में होगा, शाम को है. You can find the details on our website, right? इसी तरह हमारे काफ़ी ज़्यादा workshops हो रहे होते हैं, almost one every 2 weeks. There is a workshop, there is a training session, and they're all open to the community because we're backed by the government. It is in our mandate to help spread this knowledge to the wider community. They're all free of cost. All you have to do is register because it's a government building, so we need to know who's coming into the building, right? And of course, limited capacity hai, so once the registrations close, then we will not be able to accommodate people, right? So just please keep an eye on our Facebook, on our website, and all this information is available over there, right? Lastly, if there are any questions for me, I would really encourage, ma'am, if we can have a visit of your students. We get visits from all universities in Islam. NUST se aa rahe hain, ComStat se aa rahe hain, Bahria, AIR University. They're developing incubation centers with our help. I'd like to extend the invite to Allama Iqbal University as well. And please come see us, spend a day with us, work with our startups, interact with them. It's a very open plan office. You'll see it, and hopefully we can inspire some of you to start your own startup. Just one last thing before I sign off. I know that Asim साहब से किसी ने यहाँ पे question पूछा था कि can I start my startup right now? हमारे पास एक जेंटलमैन है, वो विंड एनर्जी पे काम कर रहे हैं. His granddaughter is a few years younger than I am. I will not mention my age, but his granddaughter is a few years younger than I am, and this is his first startup. He just started 9 months ago, and it's mashallah doing very, very well. He's already gotten funding from Turkey and Sweden for his startup. So that just gives you a perspective. On the other hand, I have someone who's in semester 5 और उसको पकड़ के लाना होता है क्योंकि उसकी क्लास हो रही होती है, तो हम उसको कहते हैं वापस आ जाओ, अब सेशन शुरू हो रहा है, right? He's still studying, but he's doing it, right? So there is no age limit. You just have to be able to take the plunge. Idea कि कोई वर्थ नहीं होती है, as Asim said, I agree 100%. But the team, so find a good team for yourself. We also help startups with this team building, etc. हम भी करके देते हैं. But find a good team for yourself, and you'll be able to execute any idea that you come up with, right? A good place to start is start looking at 2 things. One, current problems of our economy, and address those, because that's where the interest lies. Number 2, trends हो रहे होते हैं. Every year there is a trend in investment, because eventually you will need investment to do your startup, right? So 2 years ago, जब कोविड आया 3 years ago, it was health tech startups. So अगर अब आप देखें तो डिजिटल मेडिसिन, डिजिटल हेल्थ पे काफ़ी ज़्यादा काम हो रहा है, बिकॉज एक नीड थी, एक ट्रेंड था, उस पर काफ़ी स्टार्टअप्स आने शुरू हुए. अ लॉट ऑफ हॉस्पिटल्स स्टार्टेड डूइंग टेलीमेडिसिन एज वेल. कन्वेंशनल हॉस्पिटल्स, शिफा हो गया, कलसूम हो गया, ये टेलीमेडिसिन में आना शुरू हो गया, अनहर्ड ऑफ बिफोर, राइट? Then fintech picked up because fintech में investment शुरू हुई, so we started seeing a lot of development happening. हमारे पास जो startups आने शुरू हुए वो बहुत ज़्यादा fintech के area में थे. And then slowly we started seeing on policy level भी change आना शुरू हुआ. State Bank started recognizing a lot of areas, right? E-commerce इससे पहले एक boom आया था, EdTech का boom आया था. आजकल because of the floods, climate action is very, very important. There's a lot of money in this, in terms of grants, in terms of investments, also sustainability ke startups. So if you have any ideas in this space, right now is the time to be working on these. Take out some time from your schedules and start developing on these ideas a bit more, right? Agriculture, which was, floods mein kafi zyada kharab hua. Asim's business, Easy Fresh, had to pivot a little bit as well because floods aa gaye, supply chain sari disrupt ho gayi. But also an opportunity, right? So a lot of investment is coming in and business opportunities coming in agri-tech as well right now. So 2 areas that I would encourage you to focus on are sustainability, particularly focusing on climate action, and also agri-tech. Baki bhi hain, and if you have any ideas, we're open to discuss and help you navigate through them. Whether you're a part of our cohort or not, we have a very open door policy. Please write to us, just come visit us, and someone from my team will be available to help you out and help you refine and structure your idea a bit more. We can take up to 200 people, which means that we have space for average 60-65 startups at the same time. हम लोग बिठाते हैं. We have labs. We have a maker's lab. We have an experience lab. We will provide you with a digital marketing and a podcast room. So all of that facilities are all in-house. Some जिस तरह एक हमारी startup है वो it's called Green Plastic, and she's developing plastic from potato peels. Right? So उनका we don't have that facility. So वो इस वक्त अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी से ही काम कर रही हैं. एक और है वो जीन म्यूटेशन पे काम कर रही हैं. So वो कराची यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ हैं, because again these are very specific needs. So we don't have those kind of facilities, but generic maker space है, experience lab है, podcast rooms हैं, वो उस तरह की in-house facilities हैं. IT या technology is the most enabling industry. विच मीन्स कि इस वक्त जिस दौर से हम गुजर रहे हैं, ऐसा कोई काम नहीं है जो IT के बगैर हो रहा हो, टेक्नोलॉजी के बगैर हो रहा हो. सो व्हाट हैज़ हैपेंड इज़ जो इंडस्ट्री के कन्वेंशनल काम भी थे वो भी विथ टाइम हैव एडेप्टेड टू मॉडर्न टेक्निक्स एंड मॉडर्न वेज. सो व्हाट यूर सेइंग, ये जो आसिम का आइडिया है, ये अगर आप पहले देखें और इससे IT का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हटा लें तो पहले भी हो रहा था कि मिडलमैन था, मिडलमैन से हटा दो, डायरेक्ट सोर्स कर दो. इन्होंने एक IT का एलिमेंट बीच में ले आया. देव इंट्रोड्यूस्ड देयर वेबसाइट, देर वर्किंग ऑन देयर ऐप. आई डोंट थिंक द ऐप इज़ रेडी येट, राइट? बट आइडिया तो वही है. हमने इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन का वो जो कॉन्सेप्ट था उसमें IT को डाला है बेसिकली, एंड नाउ वी आर सेइंग दैट IT इज़ एन enabling industry. It's not an industry by itself, it's just enabling every industry, every vertical, every stage right now, right? So we're just introducing and encouraging more of a modern way, because that's the way the world is going. It's not about where the investment is going, it's just the need of the hour. एक एग्जाम्पल है, हम लोग बैंकिंग जो था, कन्वेंशनल बैंकिंग थी, चेक कैश करो, चेक लिखो, बाहर लाइन में खड़े हो जाओ बैंक के, फिर बारी आएगी तो करोगे. एंड नाउ when was the last time someone wrote a check, right? Most of us are just doing interbank transfers through apps, right? इसी तरह आप देख लें, बिल्स हैं, यूटिलिटी बिल्स हैं, everything is now becoming, because of these smartphones, etc. That's what the demand is. The demand is driving this revolution now, right? And to keep up with it, to be in this race, you will have to address what is being demanded by the consumer. So it's not just that we're promoting tech products or tech solutions or tech services. It's just that they have penetrated in all industries, in all verticals, and so everything has a tech component now in all the solutions. I hope that answers your question. इन्वेस्टमेंट इज़ नॉट जस्ट हमारे पास इस तरह भी स्टार्टअप्स आते हैं जो कहते हैं कि जी ये मेरा आइडिया है और मुझे, जिस तरह आपकी एग्जांपल लूँ कि मुझे 3 करोड़ रुपए चाहिए. सो दैट्स नॉट हाउ इट वर्क्स, राइट? बिकॉज इन्वेस्टमेंट इन इट सेल्फ इज़ अ वेरी टीडियस लॉन्ग प्रोसेस. सो व्हाट हैपन्स इज़ दैट आप लोग पहले, so we go stepwise, okay? So the first round is a pre-seed round, right? Typically between $100,000 and $150, इस तरह से हम वो रेस करवाते हैं, right? उसके बाद सीड राउंड आता है, फिर सीरीज़ A आता है, फिर सीरीज़ B आता है, फिर सीरीज़ C आता है, right? 3 करोड़ आप जस्टिफाई कैसे कर रहे हो? बिकॉज यू जस्ट हैव एन आइडिया. मैं क्यों पैसे डालूंगी 3 करोड़ एक आइडिया की बेस पे? सो यू हैव टू शो मी समथिंग, सम ट्रैक्शन, समथिंग. एक चीज़ और है, आइडिया बेस्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर वेरी 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 रेयर, very rare. Okay, Asim's startup was one of the lucky ones, जिस तरह उन्होंने कहा, because the investors were able to bank on the founders. So they knew कि ये founders इनकी इतनी experience और capability है that whatever they have, they will make something out of it. So they were able to take that risk with them. Otherwise investors की इतनी appetite नहीं होती है. So वो आपसे पहले कुछ आप उनको दिखाओगे, कोई प्रोडक्ट, कोई मिनिमल वायबल प्रोडक्ट दिखाओगे, कोई प्लान दिखाओगे कि यार इस तरह चलेगा, ये होगा. दे विल नॉट, आई टेल यू, हम लोग जब इन्वेस्टर्स को मोबिलाइज कर रहे थे फ्यू ईयर्स अगो, लोकल इन्वेस्टर को, तो बहुत से इस तरह से लोग थे जिन्होंने हमें कहा कि मैं स्टार्टअप में क्यों पैसे डालूँ, मैं इसकी जगह प्लॉट क्यों ना ख़रीद लूँ, यू नो, सेफर रेट ऑफ रिटर्न भी है, सब कुछ है, या मैं गोल्ड क्यों ना ख़रीद लूँ, या मैं कोई स्टॉक्स, अगर वॉलेटाइल होना है तो मैं स्टॉक्स क्यों ना ख़रीद लूँ, यू नो, व्हाई शुड आई पुट मनी इन अ स्टार्टअप दैट्स अ ब्लैक होल. सो वी हैव कम अ लॉन्ग वे फ्रॉम दैट, वी हैव डेफिनेटली कम अ लॉन्ग वे फ्रॉम दैट. इन कन्वेंशनल जो आप कह रहे हैं ना कि इंडस्ट्रियल्स वो थे, आज एक हमारा सबसे बड़ा लोकल वीसी है फातिमा गोभी वेंचर्स, और ये बेसिकली फातिमा ग्रुप है जो कि फर्टिलाइजर्स में काम कर रहा है प्राइमरीली, उनके बेटे ने शुरू किया था. सो इट वाज अ फैमिली ओन्ड ऑफिस. इस तरह एक वॉल्ट सिटी है, वो ये कौसर बनास्पति, कौसर राइस, कौसर घी, ये फैमिली थी. उनके बेटे ने कहा कि ओके, आई अंडरस्टैंड स्टार्टअप्स, आई वांट टू टेक रिस्क विद देम, एंड ही स्टार्टेड हिज ओन वीसी फर्म कॉल्ड वॉल्ट सिटी, राइट. सो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज कि 3 करोड़ इज नॉट दैट बिग ऑफ एन अमाउंट, बट यू शुड बी एबल टू जस्टिफाई इट. Right? And justification is not just in how you're executing it, but also in what you have achieved. So just because, oh, मैं ये बनाना चाह रहा हूँ, इसके लिए मुझे ये चाहिए, that will not be sufficient enough to get funding primarily.